Hi there, everybody. This is Sharo, and I am going to share with you little tips and tricks on how to log into Schoology and how to simply create or start your conferences in Schoology. So I am in EPISD home right now, and what I have done prior to getting here is that I went into my ClassLink Launchpad or Plaza and clicked on Schoology from there. And I entered my EPISD credentials, my username and password. Another way for you to get into Schoology would be going to my.episd.org and select Schoology. And then from there, you enter your EPISD credentials. A third way for you to get or to log into Schoology would be entering in the URL episd.schoology.com. Again, that's episd.schoology.com. And then once you see that or get into that site, you're going to enter your EPISD credentials. So when you're inside Schoology, the first thing you're going to see, as you can see in my screen, would be the main dashboard or your course dashboard. Now, my dashboard will look different than yours simply because I can view here all the courses that I have created or courses that I'm part of. So on yours, you're going to see all your different courses in terms of your class periods. So if you're elementary teacher, you'll see there your homeroom course or your attendance course and all the other subject areas that is part of your class schedule. And then if you're a middle school teacher, you'll see also your content area by class periods. And the same thing if you are a high school teacher, you get to see your different class periods depending on what content areas you're covering. Okay, so for example, if you have two different preps like your algebra 1 and statistics, then you're going to see all your different algebra class periods and your statistics class periods. Okay, so when you're inside your Schoology, like what I said, you're going to see your course dashboard. And when you're inside your course dashboard, you can scroll down and you can see and you'll be able to view all your different courses. Okay. So if, for example, I'm looking for one of my course and my course happens to be called EPISD at home. So just as an example, okay, I can go in there and when I'm in there, and again, I'm using EPISD at home as my sample course, then I'm able to log in and see the course itself. So you can see here the dashboard of the course. Okay. So on the left hand side, you have some tools in there, right? You can see some different tools that are available for you to use as an administrator or as the teacher of that course. You also get to see the course code. So let me zoom in a little bit so you can see the course code there. Okay, if you are a member of a course, you don't get to see the access code. Only administrators get to see the access code. Okay, so there's a lot of tools in there. Okay, and it starts off with materials. You also can edit your picture of your course if you would like to. And by clicking edit picture, this will load up. And as it loads up, you can choose an image. These are some generic images that you can choose from. But if you want to be more unique and creative with your picture, you can attach a file, look for a picture that you want to use, for example. So if we want to use that picture, I click open and then attach that picture in the course. But I'm not going to do that simply because this is EPISD at home, so I don't want to mess it up. All right. And then when you're done, then you will have to save that image. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. So that's one way for you to be able to edit your picture. All right. Now, what if I wanted to add materials in my course? You can, by clicking that button, Add Materials, and it gives you different tools that you can use to create activities and lessons in your existing course. Okay, so you can see all the different choices in there. You also have the button Options, and Options will just give you student completion and then saving this course as part of your resources. All right. So I'm just giving you a quick overview because in another video, I'll dive deeper in creating lessons and activities using the different tools in materials in an existing course, okay? And also on the right-hand side here, you can see your notifications. And this one, you can uncheck here so that certain categories of notifications to avoid the flood of emails that you're receiving because of the notifications coming from courses being posted or comments on your posts or assignment submissions or when users join your course. But just make sure that you save changes so that that change will be reflected. Okay? Also in here in my course, in this sample course, you can see here, you have the ability to add events, right? So if I add an event, it gives me this opportunity to choose a date, okay? Choose a time, okay? 8 o'clock, I'm just trying to type it, 8 a.m., okay? All right. And then I can write a title for my event. I'm just going to put sample title. And then I can write my description. So sample description for this event. Okay. You can also automatically, when you have an event, the comments are enabled. But if you don't want comments to be posted in your event, you just uncheck that and that will be removed. You can also copy this event to other courses that you have. So if you have more than one course and you want to post the same event across your courses, okay, you just click that and it gives me the option to add the same event in all my different courses, okay? But right now, I'm not going to do that simply because I have no need for that right now, okay? All right, so I'm just going to click back again to remove that. And then once I'm done, if I feel that I have all the necessary information in my event, then I just have to click Save Changes, and then that event will be posted in there. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and click Cancel for that. And I'll dive deeper into that later in another part of or another webinar or tutorial series. Okay, I'm just giving you like an overview. Okay, so anything that are added in here, so I have co-administrators in this course. So anything that I add, I will be able to see it here. Okay, so I'm thinking, let's say for your elementary people, for elementary teachers, when you share your homeroom or attendance class to your PE teacher, to your fine arts teacher, to your special ed teacher, they can start building folders there in your materials section right here, right? And then they can add different resources that your students can use as part of their learning. But every time they add, you will just get to see in this section right here on this part of your course dashboard, right? Or your course desktop, what items are being added. Okay. So the most important thing that we need to focus on, oops, sorry, I just went out. I'm going to use now a sample course that I have. So let me just find that sample course. Okay, I'm going to go in there. So right here is a sample course that I've been playing around earlier in one of my sessions. And again, you have the same look and feel. It's just a little bit more incomplete. It doesn't have that picture, right? So if if I want to add a picture in there, I can just choose this, for example, as a photo, and then boom, there it is. The picture has been changed. Okay. And earlier I showed you if I want to add an event, I can add an event. So let's say on Monday at, I'll have at 8 o'clock, right? This is my welcome students. So this could be my video conferencing, uh, right? And then welcome students to our first day of virtual conference in virtual learning. Okay. Oops, there you go. All right. Of the virtual, okay, first day of the virtual conference in virtual learning. Okay. So I look forward to seeing you again after many days of not being together in class. All right. So then I'm going to disable the comments. And if I want to copy that, I can copy it to all my other courses. All right. I'm going to go ahead and save the changes. And as I save it, there is the event right there. All right. So the event now is posted. All right. So let's go to conferences here, guys. I'm going to go click on conferences. And I want to show you how easy it is to conduct a conference in your course, right? So I'm going to click on conferences in here. Okay. It's popping up. There you go. So in your conferences, any active conferences will be listed here. Anything that's going to happen or happening currently live will be under active. And if you record your conferences, or even if you don't record it, anything that is completed will go here in the completed section of your conferences page. Okay? So let's go to active. I'm going to go create a new conference. So I'm going to click create new conference. And it's going to give me this box right here. So enter a conference name. So I'm going to put here sixth grade Algebra 1 as an example, right? Or let's just put sixth grade Algebra 1 and then period 1. All right, name it as you need it with Mrs. Dickerson. Okay, and then my start time, like what I said, will be the 30th. It needs to match with what you put in there in your calendar. So I'm going to put 8 o'clock a.m., right? And I'm going to go ahead and create. So when I create that, there it is. It is now ready for March 30 at 8 o'clock a.m. And you will only start the conference when it's time, when it's March 30 at 8 o'clock. You can also start the conference a little bit earlier just to kind of, get yourself ready. If you would like to, you can absolutely do that. And then some kids, you have those early birds who just wants to go in early and then, just to say hi or whatever. So you can allow that, allow that opportunity for them to log in a little bit earlier. But once you set 8 o'clock, they're going to expect that at 8, that conference is on. It's ready. It's live. Now, if you want to edit the name of the conference, you can do that by clicking edit. And it brings back the edit conference window. You can absolutely do that. Or you can also, from here, delete that conference. So if, let's say, you're having second thoughts and you tell yourself, oh no, I don't need to create a conference right now, I made a mistake, I was just playing around, then you can just go delete that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go in and start the conference. I'm going to click start conference right there. Okay. And once I'm inside start conference, it will ask me, how would you like to join audio? So you can either, as a teacher, as the presenter, either by microphone, listen only, or join using your phone. So most of your kids will be familiar with this. They'll also see this message, and they're going to choose whether they want to join the audio using a microphone, listen only using their earbuds, okay, or using their phone. Okay, so I'm going to use microphone. I'm going to click on that. And on my computer, it's going to ask me, since I'm using Chrome, do you want to allow this to use your microphone? And I'm going to click allow. Okay, so you might see a similar message in your browser, depending on what browser you're using. So I'm going to click allow. It's going to do an echo test. So I have to speak to it here in a little bit. Hello there. So once you hear your voice, I'm going to click yes.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
So I hope you heard that AI voice saying you're the only person who is in this conference. So that is just to give you a little warning that, are you the only one, or is there somebody already in there? Once you click start, they start joining. So when you see people joining in the conference, look at that. They're going to populate here under users. And the nice thing about conferences in Schoology is that it populates it by the real names of the kids. So they can't really hide, behind pseudonyms or fake names or other names, so they're going to show up according to how their names are populated in your course. So that's the beauty of it. All right. Also, you have in conferences the public chat, so you can put messages here to your students, right? And in public chat, you have there, if you hover and click on those three vertical ellipses, you click on it, you can save the chat, or you can copy the chat, or you can clear the public chat. So you have those options there in those three dots or three vertical ellipses. Okay. Also, as the teacher of the course, right here, there's also help for tutorial videos that you can access. If you want to join the audio using your phone, and your students can see this too, they can dial that number and enter that number. Also, they will have some tips that they'll share here for you as a teacher that might be useful for you to use. Okay, so this is pretty much the dashboard of your conferences in Schoology. So you can also share notes, and as I click shared notes, you can see here the tools that are available in shared notes. So very simple tools, but very helpful as well. Okay, so you can bold your text, italicize, underline, strike through. You can also have a list by number. You can also have an unordered list by using the dots, right? You can undo or redo something as you're typing something in your shared notes. But I like this one in particular, the import export from to different file formats. So if you want to save your notes, this is the way to do it. You click on that symbol, and it will give you the opportunity to save it via HTML format or just as plain text. Okay, so you can definitely have that those two choices to save your notes. Okay, so I'm gonna close my shared notes, and I'm just gonna click on public chat, and there it is. So in my public chat, I can type there. I can say, hello, how are you? Hope you are all doing great. Okay, put a smiley face there. There it is. So whatever I typed, there's the message, right? And there's the chat box. And once I entered my text, I just clicked send message, and there it is. And then if you allow chat with your kids, then they're going to start chatting with you. Okay? All right. Now, under the users also, there is that wonderful gear there. I'm sorry. There is that wonderful gear that you see right beside users. So the more users come in, you'll see that number change. Right now, I'm just by myself. So if I click this, manage users, this comes up. I can clear all status icons, and I'll show you what status icons are all about in a little bit. You can mute all users, and that would include yourself. Okay, so just FYI. You can also mute all users except presenter, and that would be you or me as the teacher, as the presenter of this conference. You can also save usernames. This is great because if you're checking on attendance to make sure who's logged in, then you can save all the usernames. And I think it saves as a text, and you can store it in a folder in your computer. And then you can save that for attendance purposes for yourself, for your own record. This is one that I was saying earlier. You can lock viewers. So if you lock viewers, they can't do anything. All right. They can't do anything during the time you're doing a video conferencing. Pretty much their hands are all tied. Okay. They can't chat. They can't interact in your presentation and whatnot. But you can still unlock them once you're ready to let go. Okay. Again, it's very important that you set norms when before you conduct or you begin your conference. It's very important because when it's like classroom management, like the first few days of class and your first 20 days for elementary, setting the routines, or even for the middle school and high school, setting norms will help set the tone, set a positive and friendly environment, but professional environment in the classroom. So it's important that you list this all down, and I'll share again in my other video how what are some little but great tips and tricks on how you can manage your classroom, your virtual classroom as a virtual teacher. Okay. You can also, by the way, create breakout rooms, and that the breakout rooms, think of it as workstations, putting kids in groups, right? And I'll show that more in detail in a little bit. You can also write closed captions. So once the closed captions is on, then whatever you're typing, it captures it and writes it on text. I tried it in another language like Spanish, but it wasn't working. So I'm gonna go keep on, practicing with it and see if that will change or not. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out. And it could be two. I'm just thinking right now that closed captions might be if I type in English, in Spanish, will it convert it in English? So I haven't tried that, but I will test that probably in another video. Okay. So we're in there. Now, you were wondering, I mentioned earlier about status icons. You might be saying, hey, Sharo, what are status icons? So your kiddos, if they hover and click, they can set their status. One of my ITS trainers, Melissa, said that a good way to use set status would be like an SEL, a little SEL, short, quick SEL activity, but it's also to check, like, I'm away, I need to step out for a little bit, I need to take care of myself. They can click on that and they click on away. If they have a question, they can raise their hand. So that's like your virtual raising of your hand, so your teacher can see it and you can see it as a teacher. If there's like a question and you can't really, you don't really want to speak up, you're shy, you're not sure how to do this, you just want them to put their status on. So as a teacher, you can scroll down on the users and you can see what their status is. So they can say, I'm undecided, I'm confused, or even just their feelings, with everything that's going on. I feel sad or I feel happy at the moment. I applaud. That means it's a great presentation. I love it. It's outstanding. Thumbs up. It's like, yeah, it's all right. I like it. I like your presentation, Miss. Thank you for answering my question. Or thumbs down. You know what? I didn't quite get that. Can you please repeat it? Or I don't get it at all. I need help. Mayday, mayday, SOS. Okay? All right. So that's just a little, you can use these tools, the status icon, as a way for a little SEL activity or just to touch base and check how your kids are doing as you're doing your video conferencing, whether you're teaching a new concept or just reviewing a concept or, whatever other examples that you can think of. You can also mute yourself, and this is good practice. Let's say if you're having a student present or share something, then mute yourself because there might be some background noise that might be interrupting, and other participants or other users will have a hard time listening. So it would be good practice. That's just part of best practice in virtual learning, to mute yourself as a presenter so that everybody can hear clearly what the other user or the student is sharing or saying. Okay, so let me go ahead and zoom out from that. And now let's go visit this page right here. So I'm going to go ahead and visit the tools up here. So right now you can see, since I am on, right? So when I'm on, what happens is that if my microphone is on, my name will pop up there. So if your student or any of your participant turns on their microphone, it will show up here. Okay, it will show up there. All right. So just be aware of that. That's a good way to catch. Maybe a student just really is very eager. I need to ask this question, or I just have to share this comment, or my thought, or my idea. Then that's a good visual to have. Also, right here that says start recording. If I want to record, I'm sorry about that. If I want to record my screen or my lesson or my video conferencing, you can, because then by just clicking start recording. Okay, I just don't want to touch that right now, but once you start recording, it's very easy. It will just say you're starting to record already. Are you sure? You click yes, and then that's good to go. Okay, and that recording, like what I told you, it will be stored in the section that says completed. Right, I'll show you again where that is. This is now my current slide, my interactive slide. So you can see here the different tools. Pretty much it's like an overview of what are the different features you have here in your conferences, right? It's called Welcome to Big Blue Button. So that's what it's called. I also have here some other tools. So let me just zoom in here. So what are my tools available in my whiteboard, my virtual interactive whiteboard? I also have tools such as the pan, pencil, rectangle, triangle, ellipse, line, and text. So when you click on these, automatically these tools will activate, and then you can start writing, typing, drawing, putting those different shapes on your interactive virtual whiteboard. Okay. This symbol right here is pretty much any annotation that I do will be it's like a step back, undoing your annotation. Okay, you can also clear all annotations at the same time by clicking that trash can. So once you do that, just be aware, all annotations will disappear. Now if I want to turn multi-user whiteboard, this would be fun and cool. All right, for your kids, if you want them just to interact, or for this example, if I want them to solve an algebra equation, I just write the equation there, either using text or my pencil, and then the kids can start trying to manipulate and work on it. You can also call in just two specific kids and say, okay, student A, student B, Anna or Marco, come and join me in the interactive whiteboard and work together in solving this equation. So, or if there are volunteers, they're raising their hand. Remember the status icons, they're raising their hand. Oh, I want to solve it. Okay, Elizabeth and John, go ahead, work together in solving this equation. Okay, so that is just an example right there. All right. Now you might be wondering, how can I start sorry about that. How can I start a blank slide? Because this slide is already written over. And that is fine, because if you click here, you have 6 slides available in your conferences interactive virtual whiteboard. So you have 6 slides. So this means, guys, that you don't upload here all your 20 slides presentation, or your 20 slides resources. This one is more of like, treat the whiteboard as like a quick overview, what we need to do. When you're doing your video conferencing with your kids, okay, I need to work on fractions, I need to work on an equation, or I just need help with this. Can you just show it to me real quick? Then this is the place where you do it, right? It's like your whiteboard. Or your blackboard in your classroom, right? So if you have your whiteboard in your classroom, treat it that way. You don't put your entire lesson on the whiteboard, okay? These are quick, review, or let's solve this together, or have kids work together in a problem, and as a class, you go discuss and say, okay, let's take a look. Did they solve the problem correctly, what was missing in their steps, and stuff like that. So very interactive. Okay, so if I want to go to slide number 2, I can simply click slide number 2, or if I click this arrow pointing this way, it will say next slide. So let me just zoom out there. So if I do that, there it is. I have my blank whiteboard. Okay, so from here, like what I said, I can start choosing a tool. So I selected a pencil. I can change the depth of my pencil, and I can choose a color, right? So I can say, for example, X plus Y. So I'm just using my trackpad right now, equals Z, right? And then you can say while you're talking, is this true or false? And what if I do this? 2X, sorry, that's a 2, not a Z, plus 2Y equals 4Z. All right. Is that even true? Is that even a good, equation or algebraic expression or statement? True or false? And then we'll try to figure it out and solve it. Now, if I want to start, like undo it, I made a mistake. I'm clicking my undo. So it takes it a step back. What if I do 8 without the letter in there, just the 8? How would that be? What would be the result of that, right? Now, if I want to clear all annotations all at the same time, I just clear that, and now I'm back to my blank whiteboard screen. Okay, and like what I said, if I have turn multi on, look, you'll see my name now showing up there. So other kids will start writing. So imagine if there are other kids in here, they're start annotating. And again, classroom management best practice would be just calling in 2 kids at a time. So it's not overwhelming, especially if you have 40 kids or 35 kids. Don't have them go annotate all at the same time. Okay? Because then you're going to be overwhelmed with everything else that they're showing up there. So I'm going to go ahead and clear all annotations. And now I have a blank whiteboard screen again. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back to slide 1 here. And I'm going to just choose pan right here to go back to the normal view of my screen. Okay. Now I want to go focus your attention at the corner. So right here we have the big plus sign, right? So if you click that, it gives you these choices. So you can do a quick poll with your kids. You can say yes or no. Is this lesson clear? Do you need a review or whatnot? Then you can start a poll and just play with that and see how that goes. But pretty much very simple, yes or no. If you give a simple word problem, and then give like quick choices, that they can pick and choose the answer and see who got it right, or see how many kids answered choice A, choice B, choice C, or choice D. Okay. You can also upload a presentation. Again, best practice, don't upload your entire presentation here in the video conference. You can put that in the course, okay, in the actual course. Store it in there because the kids are going to work online anyway during their class time, during their class period. And then they're going to work on whatever assignments, watching your presentation, and what other resources you have linked there. They can do that during that time. This is just like a one slide showing them an image, a graph, a table, and then you start, having a meaningful, interactive, two-way, communication and collaboration with your students. That's the key of virtual learning. Okay, it's not just lecture for hours. Okay, we prevent that. We don't want that kind of practice of lecturing, because guess what? You're going to get tired, teacher, and then you're going to lose your voice. So when you're doing a video conferencing, you want it to be two-way, you want it to be interactive. All right. Also, you can share an external video, and this is pretty cool. So let me just pull a video real quick on YouTube. I'm going to just open a window in here, and I'm just going to say best practices in virtual learning. All right. And I'm just going to go to videos and see what comes up there. So let's say watch now. All right. So I'm just going to choose here, virtual classroom online learning. I love Edutopia. They're pretty legit site for you to get some videos there. Pretty cool for teacher professional development. So I have this video. I'm going to share it and I'm just going to copy that. Oops, it led me to that. Sorry about that. I'm just going to pull this on the side. So I'm in this one. I'm going to share it. Click share. Copy that link. Okay, I'm just going to copy that link. And once I copy that, it's copied. As soon as it does that, I'm going to go back to the tab where I have this, right? I'm going to share right here. I'm going to scroll, zoom in and scroll here, share an external video. And it's going to give me this box. Let me just move my window right there, my video stream. And I'm going to paste it there. So Command V or Control V and share a new video. Ta-da! And there it is. So now I have my video here. I'm just going to lower down the volume a little bit. So I can have, or mute it. So I can have now, right, a video playing here, and my kids and I virtually can watch a video together. And I can pause, right? So you can see their closed caption right there, right? That's really good in YouTube. That's available. You can see that there, closed captions, right? So for my deaf ed students, that would be helpful for them. So if I pause, I can just say, okay, kiddos, based on what you've seen, what do you think the video is telling us? What are some key concepts that you're getting there? And then I can tell them too, again, if they have their own notebook, they can write their notes, capture some notes. What are you seeing? You know, what is the video telling us? What is the message behind that? What are the narrators telling us, you know, and how does this connect to your own learning experience now that you're diving into virtual learning, right? From our four walls of our classroom into virtual learning. So they can write their notes and then give them an opportunity to share. So the sharing again can be done via public chat, or you give them an opportunity to turn on their microphone. You can unmute them and you can pick and choose which one. So you can unmute, let's say, Jennifer, and say, Jennifer, I want to hear what is your view about this video, based on what you're just seeing right now. And what do you think is going to happen next? Okay. So again, those are just ideas and how you can, implement best practice as you're doing your 30-minute video conferencing. And I will tell you, teachers, that 30 minutes is going to go by boom fast. So I would really recommend that you have at least a draft or a refined agenda so that you know what you're going to be presenting in those 30 minutes, because those 30 minutes are going to be precious. Okay. So you can't do everything in 30 minutes. So you got to pick and choose, prioritize as to what it is that's interactive that you want for you and the kids to work on together. So pretty cool, huh? All right. So I'm going to zoom down here. I want to show you my other tools. So bear with me as I do this. So right there. Okay, so I'm talking right now, so you can see here, if I want to mute myself, I'm going to go ahead and mute myself, and you will hear that AI voice again.
You are now muted.
It says you are now muted. All right, so you can hear that voice telling you, okay, I'm in mute now, so I can't really speak. I have to pay attention. I need to write my notes. If I have whether it's a digital interactive notebook or just plain old simple interactive notebook, then they can start writing their notes. Okay. Some kids we know are very tech savvy. They know how to use their tools. So when you're doing your video conferencing, they might think of doing screenshots, right? So that's okay. They're going to screenshot what you're showing, or they can record it so that they can go watch it again. But again, they don't really have to record it, especially if you're recording already. Okay. And just tell them that this video will be available for 7 days. So make sure you access it, you go back, and then you watch it again. If I leave audio right here, this next button, then I'm pretty much like not being able to hear what's going on in this conference. So you don't want to do that. You want to keep audio on. You want to be in this conference. Okay. You can also share webcam. in the Schoology conference. So let me zoom out here for a little bit. There you go. If I turn that on, watch. It's going to ask me, do you want to allow your camera? So I'm going to click allow, again, depending on what browser you use. And then I'm going to use my FaceTime built-in camera because I'm using a MacBook. And then I'm going to choose low quality or medium quality. We recommend just stick on low quality. It doesn't have to be like high definition, okay? So this ain't like, like modeling or something like that or Hollywood. So you just want to keep on low quality, okay? So in low quality, then start sharing. And now you will see here, right? You can see my Pikachu right there. So there's a video within a video. Isn't that cool? So that's a nice thing. So you can see here my name also reflected on that. And I am on mute. So that means my voice cannot be heard in this conference in Schoology right now. Okay. So I'm going to go zoom out. If I could, if it will allow me. There you go. There it went. All right. And so here, I would recommend just you as a teacher to have your video on. But also part of good practice, guys, would be make sure you have a designated space. I think I've mentioned this in my different presentations since Monday this week, to have a dedicated space as your workspace. Try not to occupy or set up different office spaces all throughout your house, because then when you need an escape, there's no escape, right? Like there's no detachment from your workspace, right? Because you're doing virtual. So dedicate a section in your home or a space in your home where you can have your virtual space. And when you need the break, and I can't recommend enough that you need those 10-15 minute break, get out of your workspace, and then go outside, have a breath of fresh air, or go to your front yard, have some sunlight, have some sunshine, uh, you know get some vitamin D from the sun, and then that will be very helpful for you to keep you healthy. Because most of the time when you're doing virtual, you're sitting down, you're in front of the computer, and you're consumed in interacting with your students, right? And also remember, you're also doing some virtual hours. So as you're doing your virtual hours, be also conscious of taking care of yourself. Okay, standing up, walking around, moving those muscles a little bit so you won't feel stiff at the end of the day. I know it takes a little bit of time to get used to it, but once you get used to it and once you set your routines in place, it will get easier. Okay, it will definitely get easier. When I was a first time virtual learning administrator and teacher, it was tough too. So I know how you feel. I've been through that. But again, it's setting your routine, putting discipline in your body to have those breaks, and making sure that um, you do a hard stop when you say, okay, 30 minutes video conferencing, here it is. Now I need to do some other things that I have to do. So make sure to try your best to respect those times and stick with those times. Because if you go beyond your designated time as what you've planned, and you just, there's no stopping, then you won't be able to really feel accomplished in what you have done for the day. Okay, so just letting you guys know about that. All right. So going back, I'm just gonna be showing you next. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my video there. All right. And here you can also share your screen. So I'm not gonna click on that because right now I'm sharing my screen already. So you have the option to share your screen there. Okay. So as you share your screen, all right, you can show what's on your desktop. If it's a PDF file or anything like that that you need to show to the students, an article, a passage, you can do that as well. Or opening a new page and then looking at logging into Edgenuity, right? You can go to Edgenuity, log in, and going through some steps in here on what resources kids are to use. All right. Okay. So once you're able to share your screen, just like what I'm doing right now. Okay. Alrighty, so that's pretty much what conferences in Schoology looks and feels like, and I hope that you enjoyed this little short and sweet also presentation. And before I forget, I almost forgot, because these three ellipses right here in the corner, I forgot to show you that, guys. If you click on that and you hover on it, it's called options. And if you click it, it gives you options. So let me move my face out of there. So here you can make a full screen. I heard during my training, teachers are saying, Sharo, can you zoom in? I have like old eyes like me. I always wear my glasses, and like I can't see it. So in conferences and Schoology, you can definitely make your screen bigger by choosing the three ellipses, the three vertical ellipses up here, and clicking on that will give you these options to make full screen. So if I click that, boom, my screen now is in full screen. Okay, so you'll be able to see, your students will be able to see your screen better, what you're showing, like this video right here, and they can see it in fuller screen. Okay, if I click on that again, exit full screen, then I'm back to my normal screen. Also, other items in there, you have settings. Okay, you have about, help, all right, keyboard shortcuts, end the meeting if you want to end the meeting already, and then, or just simply log out. Don't end the meeting. You just want to log out. That's then that means you're leaving the class, you're leaving the video conference. But if you end the meeting, then that means as a teacher or presenter or participant, you're ending the meeting for everybody. So please try not to end the meeting for everybody, okay, while others are still in class. They can just simply, better yet, just click the X right up here to exit from the class when they're done. Don't end the conference or end the meeting for everybody, okay? Alrighty, so in settings right here, just to kind of give you a glimpse of that, this is where you can have audio alerts for chat, turn on animations, pop-up alerts, it's off. Audio alerts for user to as they join, it's off. Pop-up alerts for user join, it's off too. Application language, you can see here different languages. All right, so you can see here Spanish as well. Okay. And then you can also increase the font size, make the size bigger, okay, to help with your with your eyes, with the viewing. And also you have some data savings in here, so just leave enable webcams if you want to do that, or enable desktop sharing. So if you don't want them to have their webcams on, then just turn that off. All right. So I'm just going to leave it back on. Or if you don't want them to share their desktop, then just click it off. And I'm going to leave it back on again. And then just click save for whatever changes that you're doing. Okay. All right. So it's showing there. Settings have been saved. Alrighty, so I think that covers pretty much this video tutorial. I hope that it's useful and helpful for you, and you get to use and try and dive into conferences in Schoology. So I'm going to go ahead and close it. There you go. And if this was recorded, right, so you can see here, I'm back to my course. If I end the conference right now, I'm going to end it. Right? And you can see here under completed, there you go, it's archived. Now, if there is a recording of this course, it's going to have a play button there, right? A square button or rectangular button that says play, and that archived video is available for 7 days. Alrighty? Okay, so that's the end of my video tutorial. I hope that you find it useful. And if you have any questions, please look me up in EPISD directory. It's under the name Maria Dickerson. Email me. You can also find me in Skype for Business or in your instant messaging Skype in your Microsoft Outlook. Look me up, Maria Dickerson, and then we'll be very happy and very glad to assist you. So thank you very much, and good luck, teachers. Again, remember, you can do this. We truly believe in you. Happy teaching.